This is only my third video, so I haven't talked a lot about myself, but one thing you should know is I absolutely love spooky season. I do elaborate costumes, put up decorations, the whole shebang. So I figured, hey, why not do a video on a creepy comeback? I'd already had my eye on a specific boy group for a few weeks, but when they released their teasers for Black Crown, my mind was made up. Buckle up, this video is going to be a wild ride of history lessons and dark fantastical lore. It had been around a year since GF Entertainment's girl group, Gigu, had any new music, and they were rumored to be all but disbanded. Suddenly, on April 17th, a notification. A little more than a month after the last post on Gigu's YouTube channel, a new one affiliated with GF popped up with the name of Kingdom.
킹덤의 유튜브 채널이 오픈되었습니다.
Four boys greeted the viewers, announcing their fandom name and explaining that the other members would be revealed one by one. Soon enough, 3 more members were introduced, and the waiting game began for their official debut. 3 months passed, then 6, then 9, then... Kingdom debuted with Excalibur on February 17, 2021, with a lineup of Dan, Arthur, Mujin, Louis, Ivan, Jahan, and Chiwoo. The album sold 2,500 copies in its first 10 days, and the boys promoted the song with content on their channel for about a month. Afterwards, a few lives were held and the boys were somewhat active on their socials, but it seemed like things were slowing down. Fans knew they needed rest. It wasn't like they were going to have a comeback within the next 6 months. Oh, never mind, I guess. Kingdom had released another comeback, named Karma, in July, less than 4 months after their debut. Again, the group promoted it for around a month, then went relatively silent. This was until around 4 days ago, when Kingdom's official channel uploaded a trailer for their 3rd release this year, Black Crown. At this point, Kingdom is doing borderline twice numbers in terms of amount of comebacks. The question is, why is GF Entertainment rushing to publish these songs faster than Google gives us search results? The 7 boys of Kingdom each represent a mythical or legendary king from the past, and I'll go more into detail on the members themselves in later sections. Their rather ambitious debut project consists of 7 comebacks, each focusing on one individual member's history and storyline. After the History of Kingdom debut series, Kingdom will begin to tell their main story. For example, Excalibur tells the story of Arthur, and Karma is the tale of Chiwoo. I've heard rumors about a sort of resurrection concept in this group, so I'll explain that theory since it's the one I'm most familiar with. An evil is stirring in the world, a dark and powerful force threatening the balance of the kingdoms. Somehow, 7 kings are brought back from the grave to battle this, and the comebacks in their debut project depict their struggles to regain their thrones. There are a multitude of theories swirling around this group, yet the company has confirmed none of them. Arthur is, rather unsurprisingly, based on King Arthur of England. Think Knights of the Round Table, or Monty Python and the Holy Grail, if that's more your speed.
Now stand aside, worthy adversary. 'Tis but a scratch. A scratch? Your arm's off!
The legend of Arthur is more commonly told as such. The boy pulled the enchanted sword of Excalibur from the stone and was crowned King of Britain. Variations have been made over the years, but that one plot point persists in all versions. Historians are unsure if Arthur ever existed, though he has been mentioned a few times in scattered poetry and battle accounts. This leaves the perfect gap for Kingdom's debut, aptly named Excalibur, to fill. The rain will wash you away. In ominous and smoky hues of red, Arthur is depicted kneeling before his sword reverently, then freeing it of its stone prison as he lifts it towards the sky in victory. The lighting constantly shifts between a dazzling gold and burning orange, as if the sun is rising on Kingdom's career. Excalibur is a war cry, rallying troops against a common enemy demanding loyalty till death. It seems to scream out in fury, announcing the return of a ruler looking upon his empire with regret. Look at me now. The harmonies and harsh beat of the drums are a call from a higher power, as the boys carry the lyrics with vocals that tear the high notes from their throats. Chu is based upon the mythological king of China, Chu You. Chu You is worshipped as the god of war and one of the founders of China. Often depicted with bullhorns and multiple eyes and arms, he led the 9 Li tribe into battle. His tale begins with a Yan emperor asking him for help against the Yellow emperor, which the power-hungry Chu You agreed to. The decisive battle of Zhuolu led to King Chu You being captured by his foe with the assistance of demonic forces. His chains transformed into acorn trees, and there he stayed until his demise. Some sources report that Chu You was beheaded by the Yellow emperor shortly after his imprisonment. Karma pays homage to this myth beautifully. In a swirling dichotomy of light ceruleans and regal scarlets, Karma is the calm before the storm. The moment before a vicious war begins, the time seems slow, and Chu Wu readies himself for whatever may come. Despite its tough exterior, the song is introspective and acknowledging. He draws upon his memories and military training, thoughts tinged with regret. A waterfall of plucking notes heightens into swift rapids as the inescapable enemy forces approach. After all, even the finest sword plunged into salt water will eventually rust. Accept my fate and turn my back on the world. Ivan's character is the historical Tsar of Russia, Ivan the Terrible, I think. There's debate within the fandom on whether he is Ivan the Great or Ivan the First, or holy crap, there are so many Ivans in Russia. Ivan the Terrible, or the 4th Ivan, is the most frequent one I see, so I'll go with him for the time being. Unlike the previous 2 members, Ivan the Terrible was an actual Tsar of Russia in 1547. A war took place during much of Ivan's rule, and Ivan slowly became paranoid, believing Russians who opposed him were traitors. He appointed around 5,000 men to a bodyguard, and they executed thousands of people. Ivan proceeded to marry 5 wives in only 9 years and disposed of his only heir. He was accurately nicknamed the Terrible for these actions. I don't quite understand why GF Entertainment chose to base a member around a tyrant literally named the Terrible. There's a possibility the new comeback Black Crown will disprove that he is this specific Ivan, but based on the album details, I don't have much hope. Dan is named after King Dan, the creator of Denmark. Dan went to war with the Germans, eventually triumphing and naming his newly acquired land Denmark. Not much else is known about him, as he is used as an ancient origin legend for the country. He walks the line between real and fiction, because for some unknown reason, you can be from his lineage on a genetics site I found. Weird. Louis is based on the King of France with the same name, Louis XIV. Louis XIV is the second king in this list to be factual instead of mostly the stuff of legend, as he reigned for around 72 years. His rule began with much turmoil inside the country, and throughout his time on the throne, he made large alterations to France. While centralizing it, he developed a form of government that would depend on who held the crown and increased arts and design. Unfortunately, it was not all sunshine and roses, and Louis attempted to proselytize the population, earning him an awful reputation until his demise. Similarly to my point on Ivan, GF could have chosen a slightly more tame king, but I'm well aware that multiple fiction books have been written that changed his character. I don't necessarily think it was the best choice, but artistic liberties can be taken, and I doubt many people will look as far into the past as I did. Mujin's mythological counterpart is Emperor Jimmu of Japan. Jimmu was the first emperor of Japan, and it's been written that he descended from the sun goddess Amaterasu. Similarly to other representative kings, he's well known for his battle achievements, such as the capture of Yamato. I wasn't able to find other notable pieces of information, so I'm interested to see how Kingdom spins this tale. Jahan's king is Shah Jahan of India. Jahan took the throne in 1628 and is renowned as one of the most recognizable Shahs of India. During his reign, he won numerous military battles against Deccan states. However, most notably, Jahan constructed a sizable amount of buildings, including the famous Taj Mahal. To summarize, he is a real historical figure and resulted in a period of great literary and artistic work. Kingdom, as a group, has an incredibly detailed and unique concept that allows them to stand out from other boy groups. Their cinematography, styling, and album design are top tier, and I absolutely adore how they use instruments prevalent in the cultures for their comebacks. I'm still unsure how GF Entertainment is going to fund their future, since they have revealed plans for 32 albums, novels, and a webtoon. 32. Overall, I wish the boys a good career, and I'll definitely be keeping my eye on them. If you made it this far, thank you so much, and I will see you next time in the restaurant at the end of the universe.
Never say goodbye, bye, bye.